There.
Welcome to Losing the 50. I'll be your host today. It's Average Luck Gamer. How did I forget my name? Uh, and I'm joined by regular co-hosts Shanaha and Kete the Seventh. Shana, say hi.
What up?
Kete, say hi.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up? So we got a absolutely stacked show for you today because we have not done this in a little while. So apologies for that, but we've got a lot to talk about because not only is it like Miyabi hype time, but it's also like Miyabi is here.
And Harumasa too.
Oh, and Harumasa. Yeah, don't forget Harumasa. Miyabi is here. Harumasa is here. He's free. That's actually pretty hype, to be fair. Then we've got the hype around new characters, Astra and Evelyn. And by hype, I mean like, we'll just talk about them honestly, like what we actually think. Then we also have a bunch of changes in game that happened with 1.4 that are worth discussing. Lost Void, Deadly Assault, Decibel Changes, looking up, you can't see the character, but now you can? Yay. So let's start at the top, guys. Character stuff first. We've got Miyabi in game now. Did we all pull for Miyabi, right, guys?
Of course.
Fuck no.
Oh,
and I don't care at all.
I mean, to be fair, the man has a C6 lighter. He doesn't need Miyabi.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. He doesn't
No.
need Miyabi.
No. It's not even that, bro. Because obviously, all three of us were in the content creator early access program, right? We all got to try her out for hours and hours. I think my total test time ended up being 21 hours on Haru and Miyabi together. I like her character. I like her story. She looks good. She doesn't look bad. But holy shit, is her gameplay so fucking boring, bro.
Smash.
Bro, it's not even that. It's just the most damaging part of her kit is literally you just holding the button for 2 seconds and then watching a 10-second animation where you cannot control the character at all. You have no control over her at all. And I just don't like that.
The thing is, though, is I know what you're saying, but it's cool as fuck. So
also, she has a parry on her mini parry on her attacks, which, as you know me, that gets me going.
Okay, I do agree with that. I like the block, the last basic attack block. That's really cool. I like that.
And the third attack.
True,
but wait, I thought it was just the fifth. Is it the third as well?
Oh, whenever there's like the slashes swirling around her, that's a block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought it was only on the fifth. That's crazy. Okay, very cool.
But it's just more so for me, like, if you had a little bit more control, like if you could like change direction, because it's like a multi-hit, like it's multi-part sequence of her enhanced basic attack level 3. If you could just like control it just a little bit, like maybe have the first part go forward and the second part go backward, just have a little bit more control over it. But the fact that it's just like a set animation, I just don't enjoy that. Like other characters that are significantly weaker than her, because we're going to get to this. Miyabi's by far the best DPS in the game. It's not even close. I'm not sitting here trying to argue that. But other characters just have so much more like really cool hidden tech. And HC Casual, who we're going to eventually have on the show, by the way, HC Casual, y'all should go check out his channel if people are watching this and haven't checked him out yet.
Agreed, it is goated. He's very good.
He's really good at what he does. You should go check him out. He just made a video on Miyabi, and he clearly explains my frustration with her. Like, the Zenless at its peak for me is when you can have a lot of skill expression in your character. And even a character like Lighter, a lot of people think that Lighter's just bare bones and there's not much you can do with him. But he has a video on his channel showing that there's so much cool tech you can do with Lighter, and you can min-max that tech and just make the game even more fun. And for me, that's what I look for in a character. Now, Miyabi is the absolute perfect character for a casual. She's the absolute perfect character. She does a lot of cool shit, and it's very simple. It's hard to fuck her up, right? It's almost impossible to fuck her up. But for me, when I'm trying to look for like skill expression, Miyabi she's limited in that. Like, there's not much extra you can do, right?
Yeah,
and I just don't enjoy that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I do think that in terms of like Miyabi as a character on her own, yeah, there's not really much gap for skill expression. Agreed. But what I would say is that it kind of enables team skill expression a little bit with like the quick swap stuff. So yeah, you can just hold the button down and unleash it. But then you could also like switch to Yanagi and start doing disorders while that big hit is going off, as long as you don't, as long as you're not using Caesar or something.
Yeah, I guess like like the quote unquote expression for Miyabi isn't as much in like her own attacks, but like as Gamer was saying, like how you build up those fallen frost, which is you would have to trigger disorders to get those extra stacks. So it's how well can you get those 6 stacks as fast as possible, and that's how you'll have to like switch over to other characters and stuff like that.
Or like switching into like, and it's also like managing your buff up times and stuff. So like Miyabi being like a simple character, I think you're right, Kete. Like it does enable like a more casual play style. Like I'm not arguing against that, but like it means that then maybe you can quick swap to maybe prioritizing Yanagi if you want the disorders back quickly for your Fallen Frost, or prioritizing like Sukaku if your Sukaku buff is about to go, then get Sukaku on while she's like doing her big hit, so that Slow Kaku can kind of get her get the buff back before you're ready to go on Miyabi again. So yeah, I think I'm not arguing against it though. She is pretty simple, but making her simple means that then you can think more about your other characters, if that makes sense. But it's still like, yeah, one of those 3. You basically don't have to think about it. Just get your 6 stacks and then unleash it, and then get your 6 stacks and then unleash it. Oh, and she's got an ult. Okay, make sure you got 3 stacks 3 so you don't waste it, and then unleash your big hit again. Like it is simple, but I think it's good that it's simple, and yeah, it makes her easy and fun to play. I don't know. I think she's great.
Like I said, she's best DPS in the game. If I had Yanagi, I'd be more inclined to pull her because that was like the only team I actually had fun with because you had more to manage. I felt like that team had more skill expression. But I don't have Yanagi.
Saying the disorder stuff with Yanagi, yeah.
Yeah.
Even with Bernice, it just didn't, I don't know, bro. It just didn't feel like there was much to do. It was just such a simple rotation.
With Bernice, you're not really playing with Bernice. She's just there. You occasionally throw out a skill to apply burn, and then that's it.
I guess that's the thing, right? Like if you have Miyabi and Yanagi, then you're thinking about Yanagi, right? And getting Yanagi on and giving her field time, and then that kind of it's like a balance. Whereas with Miyabi and Bernice, you don't have to think about either of them. Like, oh yeah, Bernice, all right, yeah, you just got to manage that little bar under her, right? Make sure it stays up. That's it, right? Just bring her on, hold the EX, okay, bring her off. That's it. So yeah, and then you're only really playing with one character.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I think she's great. I think Miyabi's great. I think she's really good for the casual player since, most players are casual. And I think it's fine. It's just for me personally, I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's perfectly fine. By far the best DPS in the game. There's no question about it. One of my friends, NYX, he got a 35-second clear with Miyabi, Lycon, and Silkaku. And I was like, hey, yo, your Miyabi must be fucking cracked, because holy shit.
That is fast. Yeah.
It was M0 too, so he just had like really good stats.
So on that note then, you didn't pull Kete, but Shanna, you did. M0? Did you go for the Wenjin?
Yes. M0 engine won the 50-50, won the 75-25, of course. I don't know if I want to go for Mindscapes because of the fact that Astra and Evelyn have been announced. If it weren't for them being announced, I would have probably gone for Mindscapes, but I kind of want them both.
I feel that. We'll move on and talk about them in a minute. But yeah, I did the same though. M0 and Engine. I wasn't sure if I was going to go for the Engine. I kind of needed to win the 50 for Miyabi for me to think about it because I wanted to make sure I had enough in reserve because of Astra and Evelyn. But yeah, I did end up getting the Engine as well. And yeah, she's very cool, very fun to play. It kind of it trivializes like any content that you have to do. Like when you're grinding stuff in the HIA.
Dude, the fact that you can just like insta kill everything with a skill on the first wave, the second wave you just judgment nut them all, like it's oh my gosh, it's like that like forget about how quickly you can clear shield defense, forget about how quickly you can clear deadly assault. My HIA daily runs have, oh my goodness.
Yeah, like that, honestly, that's biggest thing about Miyabi. Like, yeah, I've had fun doing the end game content with him. We'll talk about that later, but Yeah, doing the I need to farm ice chips is just like so yeah, like 20 seconds done. It's great.
20 seconds. Bro, my glider clears in 10 seconds. I need you to get faster.
Okay, yeah, I didn't spend $900 on him though, so just.
Hey, shut up. Hey, shut up.
Okay,
Hey,
right. So yeah, Miyabi's great. She's here. She is the storm
hey,
that has approached. Go on.
wait. Before we move on from Miyabi,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually something I wanted to talk about, and I wanted this to be early into the podcast. While we were talking about Miyabi,
Okay.
because me and my stream, I stream often nowadays, and I get a decent amount of people in my streams, and we had a long talk with me, and I had OK Muzzy on as a guest, and for like almost an hour, we talked about because of Miyabi being as strong as she is, she's by far the strongest DPS in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they continue down this path of making all new DPS just as stronger than her, how unhealthy is that for the game? Me and OK Muzzy had a long talk about this. I wanted to hear your opinions.
I think Miyabi is, well, she is special. She's the Void Hunter. So I don't think that they're going to make every single agent after this stronger or just as strong. I would hope that they would be strong because, that's just how gacha games work. But I think Miyabi is going to be like the crown of like, okay, that's the baseline. Let's not I don't think anything's going to be stronger than Miyabi. Let's put it like that. Maybe as strong, maybe a little bit weaker, but not stronger than Miyabi for a good while until like another Void Hunter.
I hear you. And I kind of agree with you. But that wasn't my question. My question is, if Hoyo did decide to go down the path of making new DPS just as strong or stronger than her, how unhealthy is that for the game?
I get you. Like assuming that they do
Assuming they
go
do.
down this path, yeah.
It just
Assuming that
yeah,
they do.
yeah, go on.
it's
Connor.
definitely going to suck, but I would hope that if they are going to scale up our units and our agents, that hopefully they also find a way to balance it out with enemy units being, how do I word this, manageable with those new agents while still being clearable with the old agents. So maybe, I don't know, with the example of Miyabi specifically, maybe next patch, some new bosses, they're all resistant to ice or frost or whatever and stuff like that. So that it's still doable with other agents, and then these new stronger ones are sort of put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Shanna's initial take. Miyabi is the exception and not the rule. She is the Void Hunter. She is the Storm, etc.
She should be.
Yeah, but if we do get rampant power creep and every patch we get a new attack or anomaly agent that kind of just breaks the game, then that is very unhealthy for the game because it kind of invalidates the stuff that's come before. And then what that will do is it will turn off players who want to use particular characters, right? So if someone pulled Jane in patch, what was it, like 1.1, 1.2?
1.1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So someone pulled Jane in 1.1 and their favorite character is Jane and they want to use Jane Doe all of the time, right? Or, they want to use her on half of the sheer defense, whatever it might be, right? It kind of means that person who loves playing Jane is then fucked and they can't then play Jane. They have to buy the new anomaly character, the idol character who's a physical anomaly, for example, right? Because Jane is shit now. And if that happens, then
Mindscape.
Sorry?
Or just get Mindscapes on Jane. That's the other option.
Yeah, but what if she doesn't come back for 6 months, but yeah.
True.
I think in that situation, players would just drop the game, right? Because they'll be like, well, I can't play with Juan anymore. I can't play with Jane anymore. I don't want to play this game anymore. The characters and the thing that keeps people playing gacha games is that they've invested their time, their effort, and sometimes money, mostly money, right? That's how the games work. The people have made investments into the game, and those investments are then shat all over, then people will drop the game. And so if there is rampant power creep, what I'm saying is that the game will die. It'll not die. There'll be some people who will still be interested in it for sure. But yeah, I think a lot of players will end up dropping off because if they can't continue to use their favorite characters, then they'll be very upset about it. And if you look at something like Genshin, yeah, I mean like a 1.0 character it's Klee. Klee was the second banner after Venti, right? Klee is not a good character in Genshin now, but she was good for quite a long time, and she is still usable now. And I think like that's what I want Zenless Zone Zero to look like in like 3 years' time. But yeah, rampant power creep, very bad for the game.
Well, see, I asked because when I was talking to Chad and OK Muzzy, the Void Hunters are basically the Archons of the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
they're basically the Archons.
Yeah.
If you look at Genshin, Zhongli was out of this category, but now he is in. Venti, Zhongli, and Raiden have all gotten straight up power creeped by characters that are nowhere near as important as them in the lore. So Hoyo has shown that they absolutely can just make characters who aren't as important in the lore just stronger than characters who are. And you go back and look at Honkai Impact, they've done that a million times over. And they're starting to do it in Star Rail a lot. So it's just like Hoyo has shown in all their games that lore doesn't really matter. That's why I'm worried. That's what made me bring this conversation up, because people keep saying Void Hunter, she's the exception, not the rule. I don't think Miyabi's going to get power creeped anytime soon. I agree with you guys. Absolutely. But going off of Hoyo's track record and playing every single one of their games, I've played Honkai for years. I've played Star Rail till this day, and I still play Genshin till this day. They have absolutely shown that lore doesn't matter sometimes. They will absolutely just make a random character just stronger than someone who is extremely important in the lore, and they just don't care. So I'm kind of worried, and I'm just really hoping that they find a way to balance it in Zenless and not make it ridiculous. I'm really hoping.
See, I think oh, no, go on, you go, Shanna.
I was gonna say, like, speaking of how, you know, Miyabi might not get power crept, I'm gonna assume, again, like, it's hard to tell because it's only happened once, but I'm gonna assume the whole gimmick of special elements are only reserved for Void Hunters and like Miyabi and stuff like that. If we see this like shenanigans of, oh, a special new element for other agents, that's when like we start to worry and stuff like that. I'm not talking about like, say, Dendro, where it's a new like archetype, like maybe they bring back wind or something, but like this whole super special frost anomaly. If stuff like that gets handed out to random agents, that's when you know things are going down the deep end.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is that, like, I think that Zenless, of all of the gachas that I've played, definitely has the most room for skill expression, like we were talking about earlier. And I think that as we go deeper, we're likely to see higher skill ceiling characters. That's the kind of way that I hope that they power creep, if that makes sense. That you can get more out of certain characters if you are good at like playing a particular character. And I think that they had that option available to them where they don't really have that option available to them in something like
Star Rail.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, is your number high enough?
Yeah. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But that's the way I hope it goes. But you're right, Ketik. There is cause to be maybe a little concerned. Not necessarily concerned, but it's something to be aware of, right? Because you don't want to be like a slave to any kind of, or feel loyal to any kind of company, right? And if they start fucking up your game, then just stop playing the game. If you can't use Jane anymore and you love playing Jane, then you should stop playing the game. And I would probably do the same thing. So that's the way that most players are probably going to play.
Yeah. I just think that some people try to avoid this topic, but avoiding it isn't good in my opinion. I don't think you should talk like negatively, like, oh, absolutely they're gonna do this and shit, but more so it needs to be on the back of our mind, because shit can turn sour very, very quickly, right? And we gotta think about it. Zenless is doing an amazing job right now. Every patch they get better and better and better.
Oh, for sure.
The game is fucking great. I love it. Best gacha I've ever played. But when I felt the difference between Miyabi M0 and Ellen M0, because I compared my two runs in the creator server. Holy shit. Like, I'm not even trying to shit on Ellen. I use Ellen till this day. I still use Ellen. I plan on getting her M2. I chose Ellen over Miyabi. But holy shit, bro. Like,
yeah,
man.
but she is the Void Hunter. You know,
Yeah.
she is supposed to be very strong in the lore, and I actually think they've done a really good job of translating that into in game. You know,
Mhm.
And yeah,
Well,
does
it's
that
also like
suck
a-
for
yeah.
Ellen? A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. But it doesn't mean that Ellen's unusable. It's kind of like
Oh, absolutely not.
yeah, it's like the argument we were talking about earlier, right? It's like, well, yeah, like Zhongli, maybe there's better options. Raiden, maybe there's better options in Genshin, but you can still use them. You can still clear with them.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just maybe a little bit harder. But then again, you've probably been playing those characters for a really long time, so you know how they work. You know their buff up times, etc., etc. You know.
It just feels really bad when my C0 Arlecchino out clears my C6 Raiden.
Oh my god, I didn't
I
know
mean,
that
to
was
be fair,
that
also
bad.
remember like
I'm not even joking. My friend Flamma in Genshin, he's also a ZZZ content creator. He's a theory crafter.
Mm-hmm.
He has a C6 Ayato in Genshin. His C6 Ayato loses to a C0 Nuvolette.
Never let go.
So,
Burr.
Hoyo, they have shown that they can do this shit. So I think we should just keep it in the back of our mind and
I mean,
make
they've
sure
shown it
once
and,
we
like,
see it.
yeah, they've shown it
Yeah.
and they know what they're doing. At the end of the day, like, yes, they're game developers, but also it's a company. They have to make money. And I mean, look no further than just like any of the like weekly rotational stuff, Sheer Defense, other games, Star Rail, Simulator Universe, or whatever. Like every time there's a new banner, they always shill the new agent by saying, "Oh, are you struggling to clear this with whatever agent you have? Well, did you know that there's a buff that favors the new agent? Why don't you go pull for them and stuff like that? Like they know what they're doing."
Yeah, they do know what they're doing. And I think over time, it's okay for there to be power creep. Like a character that releases in 1.0 should still be usable in like 3.0, but like because there's so many other options, they're probably not going to be the best option, if that makes sense, right? Like, yeah, you could still probably clear with a Juyuan team in 3.0, but are you also probably going to need Chingy? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you need like her best team to make sure that you are still clearing with Juyuan? And I think that that's okay because,
Yeah.
the Shiu HP problem is something. Yeah, I think I've talked about that, but it's going to keep going up because the
Mhm.
characters keep getting stronger. I just
Mhm.
hope it doesn't go up too fast. And yeah, like, and I hope that in a few years' time you can still use G1, you can still use Jane, and if not, then people will start dropping the game.
Mm-hmm. Like, contrary to popular belief, I think gacha games need power creep.
Yeah.
But they don't need egregious power creep.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, like it needs to. There needs to be something to push for you to pull the new character, but
Mm-hmm.
it can't be so strong that it's like a must pull. And I don't even think that Miyabi is like a must pull. Like Kete, you're
She's
skipping
not.
her. Yeah, she's not a
Yeah,
must
she's
pull.
not.
She's very strong. Hopefully, exception, not the rule. But she's not a must pull. Like if you have Ellen, as particularly if you have Ellen's M2, like you're fine. You're fine for ice content. All good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think as long as you can still clear the content with your older characters, you'll be fine. And I don't think that power creep is necessarily going to be something we have to worry about for a while. And I think as we get more supports as well, remember we haven't even had limited S rank supports, but as we get someone like we'll talk about this later on, but Astra coming into the game, we might find that older characters get indirect buffed, right? So
Mhm.
like someone like Ju-Yuan, who is also of the ether element, if Astra has something built into her kit that buffs directly, buffs the ether element, then it means that actually G1 potentially becomes more usable. And I think if they continue to do that with more characters, then even though some characters are getting older and the HPs keep going up, like they'll bring in supports that hopefully make them continue to be usable.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the final thing I want to talk about with this is my Chad and OK Muzzy, they were saying I think we will figure out how they're going to do character scaling in the future once the next ice damage dealer comes out. Now they don't have to be frost, right? They just got to do ice damage because Miyabi's damage still counts as ice. If the next ice damage dealer that's an S rank comes out and they're just a cool agent, but they're like no one important in lore, and they're above her level or below her level, then I think we'll be able to tell
Okay.
how they're gonna do this.
I think that is probably true, but I will literally eat my hat if they release an ice attack or anomaly agent in the next 2 years.
You think so? 2 years? That's.
Well, you better
let's
start
see.
eating. You better start eating. You better start
That's like
eating.
30 characters, or yeah, like 30 characters.
Yep. No
Yeah, you
more.
better start eating, bro.
Yeah, and we've got 25 characters and we haven't had Ether stun. Like, come on. Like, there is so many. Wait, hang on.
Mhm.
How many characters have we got? I don't know. Like, yeah, I think we're gonna just avoid ice for a bit. And I think it's gonna be a couple of years.
Okay, you better start eating that hat. But anyway, we were talking about character skill expression and like how you can get more out of them. That's perfect transition for a Harumasa.
Dude, yes,
There-
actually.
Okay, so I've gotten slightly better with him.
Okay.
Significantly better than I was in the first week. I remember I text Gamer while we were in the creator show. I was like, bro, I can't do it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong. Like, I can't do it. And then like I've gotten slightly better with him. He's doing better. But there's a man named Yoji. Shout out to Yoji, another ZZ creator who just does really cool gameplay and shows rotations. When I saw Yoji's video on Haru the other day, and his rotation. By the way, he was using a free to play weapon. He was using the Street Superstar.
Okay. That's the old one, right?
Yeah, and when I saw his rotation and like just how fast he cleared Shiyu, I think it was what 41 seconds with Haru, Shingi, Nicole. I was like, okay, I'm just playing the character wrong. Holy shit, like Haru's cracked.
Oh, I'll need to check that out.
Bro, you gotta watch it, bro. It's insane. Like we just suck with Haru.
Yeah, he is cool, and I could tell that he had a lot of depth to his kit, but I think when we were in the creator server, I felt the same way. I felt like I was doing something wrong. I felt like I was fundamentally misunderstanding the character. But then all of the other guides started to come out while I was still finishing my guide, and I was like, no, I'm not misunderstanding him. He's just like really like tricky to play, and
He's very involved, yeah.
yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think he's probably
good,
the
yeah.
best character that they could have given away for free, because
Mhm.
it means that a bunch of people are going to try him out. Probably, maybe a bunch of new players or a bunch of older players who are maybe sitting on a bunch of stuff to kind of upgrade him, because if you haven't pulled for a little while, maybe you pull for Miyabi and you don't have anything else to do for this patch. Maybe you end up building him and having a bit of a play around with him. And he is really cool and fun to play. Super high skill ceiling, but also a super high skill floor. Like, you have to think about it. You can't just go in and mash the buttons, which is, I think I remember when I was in the creators server, like the first time I played him, I went in and I was like, I'm not going to read this kit. I'm sure, you just mash the buttons, it'll be fine. But it wasn't. And I remember being like, holy shit, what am I doing?
I think that's actually
go back and read through it.
perfect.
Yeah, it's actually cool.
Like you're saying, it's a perfect example of, especially because like remember in the 1.4 live stream they were saying that they're treating this as like a soft reboot. They're trying to get everyone back into the game, and I think that's perfect because I remember when the game first launched, and obviously everyone's playing through the tutorials, the first chapters, and it's a story mode. It's going to be, there's no end game content yet. Like the biggest criticism was like, oh my gosh, all you do is you pull Ellen and then you just you close your eyes, just mash left click, occasionally right click, and then everything dies. But like Harumasa, you can't do that. You actually have to like play the game.
Yeah, you have to just manage
so
those little...
it gives a good first impression, yeah.
Yeah, you have to think about those little balls and stuff, and then you have to, it's very, very involved, as you said, Shanna. Yeah. I honestly, though, as cool as he is and as fun to play as he is, I can't see myself building him. What about you guys?
I will.
I just sent you the video in the chat here. After seeing this, I might build him now because I didn't know this man had this kind of skill expression.
Yeah,
I will. It's just that all of my resources went to Miyabi.
Yeah, I think, if I end up sitting on a bunch of extra stuff, I might very well do it. Because if you get like Electric Week on one side and Ice Week on the other, you want to run Yanagi on the Ice Week side for Miyabi, and then maybe on the Electric Week side it might be better to run Harumasa over Juyuan. But then there's also a part of me that's thinking, yeah, but do I need to put in the time to learn him? I don't know. It'd be kind of fire to learn him, but I don't know
Also,
if my
just
brain
like,
can keep
again,
up with it sometimes.
Coming back to what we were talking about with like the power creep, even ignoring what's it called, weaknesses. If there's ever like another electric agent in the future, again, they're probably going to implement, quote unquote buffs or like stage effects that improve electric attackers, and now now you have a free Harumasa who can do that himself. So you don't need to like pull for whatever new electric agent there is, because I mean in this current Shio defense, and we'll get to it later, but in the current Deadly Assault as well, both ice and electric are buffed. So yeah, of course they're going to do well in these in this patch at least.
Yeah. This is his moment to shine.
Yeah, so like they're going all in and being like, guys, yes, Miyabi's cool and everything, but Harumasa's good too, trust me.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said though, like if we get another electric anomaly or something in like 1.7, then yeah, it'll be like, oh great, well, you know, like I could just use Harumasa because like the electric is buffed for this Shiyu or Deadly Assault or whatever.
I mean, and it's also more so he is so, not only is he at extremely high skill ceiling, he's also extremely flexible. I remember literally like laughing my ass off because someone told me, "Hey, bro, Miyabi, Shingi, Harumasa is a crack team." And when I first heard it, I was like, "Y'all are so capping. What the fuck y'all talking about?" and then they showed me the clips of like really good players using that team. And I was like, "Okay, I eat my words. I'll never question you ever again." What the fuck did I just watch that? What the hell, bro? It was actually insane. It was.
I mean,
crazy.
his team buff is even like, he's the first one to like you said, he's flexible, and which is good because he's free. Like his team buff doesn't even need other Section 6 members, right? It's what is it?
Yeah.
Any stun or anomaly character.
Mm-hmm.
No element, no team requirements. It's very nice.
So you can use him as a quick swap backliner on like a Miyabi or Yanagi team, or you can just use him as a straight hyper carry. He's so flexible, bro. It's crazy. Like I should just send y'all like a bunch of clips and like link them in the description of this podcast for everybody to watch, and like just show like just how good Haru can be in the right hands. And these were all M0, by the way. So it's kind of crazy. He's significantly better than I thought he was, and it's just simply because I didn't know this man could do this. I gave up on him too quickly.
Poor Harumasa.
But yeah, I think he is the highest skill. It's probably between him and Billy. I think Haru beats him slightly though, in terms of like being the highest skill ceiling in the game.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. He's very cool. It's just the time investment to learn him at this point. I don't know if I will, but he's very. He's
the perfect character. He's the perfect character for sweaty people. Like for sweaty gamers, he's the perfect character.
Cool. Any other thoughts on Harumasa before we move forwards?
Will, maybe I'm crazy for saying this, but do you think they should like go ahead, just put him on standard since they already made him free?
That's actually an interesting thought. I think they should, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think
I feel like it would, especially if it's new people joining. I feel like it might annoy them because again, assuming that there's new people joining, you know, they get the free Harumasa. They don't have many of the standard characters yet. We all know the horrors. I know gamers specifically as well, like of getting dupes on the standard banner. So if you already have Harumasa and then like everyone has him, and then you add him to the standard banner as well, that's just one extra spook, I guess.
Yeah. Because if you got him for free and then you got him from standard, you'd be like, oh, man. And if you didn't like him as well, you'd be like, oh, shit.
But that wouldn't be bad for everybody. That would only be bad for some players, right? Because let's be real, not every player who gets every standard banner agent uses them, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't really follow... Yeah, I don't really follow Star Rail that closely, and I don't play it. But I am thinking about it at some point. But what did they do with Dr. Ratio? Because he was free, right? Did they put him into standard?
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. Yeah. Not that it necessarily indicates what they would do with Harumasa, but I think for now we can probably use that as a guide. I wonder if they might do it eventually, transition him to standard. But
we'll see though.
Yeah, we will.
All
right, should we move on?
Anything else? Yeah, I guess so.
Interesting thought. Okay, so then we got the new characters. We got Astra and Evelyn. What do we think, guys? Should we start with Astra? What do we think about Astra?
Okay.
Okay.
You mean what was it? My what was it? A fried egg roll, something like that.
Chaotic fried rice.
Chaotic fried rice.
Oh yes, yeah. When she messages
Yeah.
me.
Shanna thought you were having a stroke there.
I'm like, what is this guy on about?
Dude, I couldn't remember. I knew it was fried something. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. I think, so just in case anyone missed the news, she's going to be an Ether support agent. She got the drip marketing, and we saw her in a trailer the trailer that was on the Game Awards. Her design is pretty cool. And no spoilers. Wait, can I say this? I don't know.
If not, you can just edit it out, I guess.
You can talk to her in the game.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
She's been teased in game as well. I mean, she's been teased in multiple ways in game. Like, one, I mean, Kete already said chaotic fried rice, you speak to her. And two, like, there's posters all around in game that show her and stuff like that.
And man, I feel like we're spoiling the end, but yeah, I don't know.
It'll be okay.
I think it'll be okay. I think if you made it this far, if you haven't made it all the way through 1.4, then you can maybe like turn your brain off for like 10 seconds. But yeah, you get to talk to her at the end of the 1.4 story stuff. That's it. That's it. That's all that happens. So what do we think, Astra?
Okay, what do I think? Okay. If you have the spare pools for most players, this is the vast majority of players. If you have the spare pools to get her, just do it.
Yeah.
If you don't, and like obviously you can only choose between Astra and Evelyn, and you just really want Evelyn, I'm not gonna stop you. Go ahead and get Evelyn, right? But if you do have the spare pools, just get her. Hoyo has shown in every one of their games that the first support characters that come to the game, they last for a long fucking time. They last so long. They stand the test of time. It is so worth it. Just do it. Don't even question. She's the first limited support. I promise you, she's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Just get her. Just get her, bro. If you have the extra pools, just get her.
See, the thing is that like I probably only have enough to guarantee one of them, and Evelyn is so hot.
Dude, same. I'm right there with you. Like, I know Astra's gonna be strong. I know she's gonna be meta. I know she's a support, but like, again, for those of you that play through the story, honestly, like her character, like the archetype that she is as like a personality, as a human, is like the spoiled. Oh, I'm the lost in fame. Oh my goodness, I just want to get away from this. I'm like, dude, I don't care. I just want to be with your bodyguard. Can you just shut up?
Hey, yo,
let me speak to the manager, please.
Hey, yo, Evelyn could protect me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. But yeah, I think Kete is right though. From like a meta perspective, Astra is probably going to be the one that most players should pull. But Evelyn looks really cool, and the fact that she's a fire attack character kind of also makes me think that she's probably going to be potentially similar to Harumasa, right? Because we already have a fire attack character in Soldier 11. And I wonder if she might have like a super high skill ceiling and she'll be like really interesting to play, because I don't think we're going to get like Miyabi levels of like we were talking about earlier. Like the power creep will not continue, I don't think, with Evelyn as an attack agent. So I think we'll be back to like, Juyuan/Ellen levels of scaling. But then how do they make that like an increase over Soldier 11? And I think it'll be like, I'm hoping that it'll be like skill expression. So that would be really, really cool. So
yeah,
if
I'm excited to see,
yeah, if that's the case for Evelyn, like, I don't, like I'm gonna have to flip a coin, because if I miss out on another support like I did with Caesar, who's absolutely goated, I think I'm gonna struggle with the endgame content here and there.
Well, you guys had me do this at 3 a.m. tonight. Before I woke up at midnight to get ready for this podcast, for some reason I just had a dream that
oh my god, stop.
That to get the most out of Evelyn, you would need Astra. That's just my dream, though.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like same faction. It feels like that's a common theme.
Yeah, I think as well, like they've proven that they're happy to do the hard sell, if that makes sense. So they'll back to back characters that are very good together. So we had like Bernice into Yanagi, or we had like Jane into Caesar, and I feel like
Lighter into Miyabi.
yeah, exactly. Ju Yuan into Qingyi, like they're really happy to back these characters that are very good together. I don't think it's crazy to have a dream that they might be good together. They're almost definitely going to be good together without any dreams.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Give me like 20 seconds. I'm so sorry. I gotta talk to the people who doubt it lighter with Miyabi. For all the people who doubt it lighter with Miyabi and said he wouldn't be good, how does it feel to know that the undefeated champion is tied for her second best team? Yeah, don't you ever doubt the undefeated champion ever again, because he is him, and he will only get better. That's all I have to say.
Okay, well that was a bit random, but I'll take it. So yeah, Astra probably going to be a goated support. We'll see as we get
Absolutely.
closer. Like, pay attention, I guess. They might. It's kind of like you said though, Kete. Like, I wonder if maybe they've been burned by supports in the past, and they might undertune her. I do have like a feeling that could happen. But yeah, probably gonna be goated. Probably gonna be goated. Evelyn though. Any other like? I feel like I've chatted about Evelyn already, but like, what do you guys think?
I'm really excited because she's the first. Like I'm also made a video about this, but like she's the first quote unquote real limited attack. I know we just got Harumasa, but like in terms of not everyone's gonna get him. Like she's properly exclusive. First attack that we've gotten in a while. So like you said,
yeah.
Excited to see what we're gonna get, but or like the skill ceiling. I'm excited to see what they do to like make her different because like if you look at the anomaly agents, we had those back to back to back to back, and yes, it was annoying, but also it was still somewhat okay because at least each and every one of them had something unique and different, right? Jane had the critting assaults, Bernice had the off-field burn, Yanagi had special disorder, Miyabi is Miyabi. So like I'm curious to see how they make Evelyn stand out as an attacker.
Okay. Dang, I don't know if I should say this. I'm trying to. Maybe I shouldn't. Never mind.
Maybe not.
Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I
not.
shouldn't.
Maybe not.
But like, okay, but genuinely though, let's think about it. We were talking about maybe they could find a way to make older characters more relevant in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a character in the game that has gotten completely shafted.
Anton Bros, it's our time to shine. I'm not joking.
That has been completely shafted since 1.1 and hasn't been getting that much love at all. And I think if there is a time for her to finally be a little bit relevant, it's now with Evelyn. And that is the other fire stunner that's not lighter, Kaleda.
Yeah, I can see it. Sorry, it took me a second to process that information. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's not crazy, right?
Because my biggest issue with Kaleda for a long time was her buff was useless for 99% of the characters in the game, right? That chain attack buff.
Oh, yeah.
I've been begging Hoyo to finally make a character that scaled more with chain attacks. What if Evelyn is that character?
That would be pretty fire. Pretty fire.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I know. I had to double down on it just to make it clear.
I heard it the first time. You didn't have to repeat it, but
I'm just thinking though, right? Because like the reason I brought this up with Kaleda is because there's so many players that skip lighter, right? So many players, like the vast majority of players skipped him. I wouldn't be shocked if less than 20% of the player base has lighter. Lighter is significantly better than Kaleda, but since so many people skipped him, I just think it would be very dirty because most of the time attackers want a stun agent on their team, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have lighter and you get Evelyn, who the fuck's gonna be your stunner? You see what I'm saying? Like, so I just think this would be the perfect opportunity for them to finally, make the painful loss of losing the 50-50 to Kaleda feel just not as bad, you know?
Yeah, it also might, because I think a lot of players are probably getting towards that 300 pulls right now on standard. So I wonder if it might kind of push people to maybe get Kalita if they didn't get lighter. But another character that I was actually going to mention, because we haven't needed stun agents for so long because we've been living in this anomaly meta. But another agent that I was going to mention was going to be Chingy. And I thought that's where you were going to be going with it. Is like, oh, well, Chingy's kind of been forgotten about because we had attack agents in 1.0 that she could buff. And since then, like, nothing. And she I think her passive only needs an attack agent. Am I right?
Yep.
Attack or Neps.
Yeah.
But the reason I didn't bring up Shingi is because she hasn't had a rerun yet, and we don't know when the hell her rerun's coming. And I highly doubt she would rerun before Ellen or Zhu. Right?
Yeah,
I highly doubt she would. So
but what
players are gonna.
Yeah, what
Wait,
if
what?
we get like reruns starting in like either 1.5 or 1.6 and Chingy's on like the first half of 1.6, for example, and Evelyn's
that
on
would
the
be
second
good.
half of 1.5.
But that's still a long, pretty decent amount. That's almost a month of where players won't have Shingi, who didn't play on her first banner. So they still need another option. If they don't have lighter, that's why I said Kaleda.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think Kaleda stonks do go up with Evelyn
Yeah.
for sure.
Like
But
my ideal kit for Evelyn would be, well, my ideal change for like Evelyn and Colida is that Evelyn chain attack focused, and also, how like we have these people that can, shoot out quick assists without using a skill, like for example Seth, who can quick assist off of a basic attack, or like Bernice can quick assist off of her ultimate. I want Evelyn, or anyone really, to be able to just out of nowhere make a chain attack. Kind of like, actually, we'll come to this in a bit here. Lost Void, one of Yanagi's buffs is that she can purposefully make a chain attack after using a skill or something like that. And then with Colida, like redact her, or I don't know, errata her or whatever the word is, so that her buff isn't just increasing chain attacks during stun, but just increasing chain attacks whenever. That is like the perfect update to make Colida viable and introduce a new mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm
down.
Lucy stunks also go up because if people choose to skip Astra for Evelyn, because you can only get one of the two, Lucy stunks go up because I she's a very universal support. Caesar, obviously. Who else? Lucy, Caesar. Who else would go be able to replace Astra if you can't get them both? That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's about
Am I missing
it.
someone? Am I missing someone? Nicole, maybe Nicole.
Maybe
I was thinking about Nicole, but then I was like, I feel like it might not be quite the same, because I think I said this in my video when I made the video about Astra and Evelyn, but I think Astra's going to be like a kind of like a universal support, kind of like Caesar, right? Like she's not going to be tied to an element, whereas I think Nicole, as much as her buffs are like a couple of her buffs are universally good, but then she also has like that huge ether damage bonus built into her kit, which no one can make use of other than Ju Yuan. So
also, if we were talking about Evelyn teams, Nicole needs another ether agent anyway, so you don't get the team passive as well.
Yeah, but I guess her passive is that ether.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah, so you kind of just don't need it.
You're just using it for the defense shred essentially.
Whoa. I completely disagree. The fastest Ellen clears are using Nicole. The fastest Billy clears are using Nicole. The fastest DPS lighter clears are using Nicole. I completely disagree. She's a completely universal support. You do not need her extra passive. You just need the defense shred.
Yeah, but like, we were more like in comparison with like Lucy and an Evelyn team and stuff like that.
Yeah, Nicole might actually be faster than Lucy. I'm not even joking. Like the defense shred is that broken. It's that broken, bro.
Insane. But she also at M6 she gets the crit rate buff as well.
Yes.
So that could be part of what's making her seem so much better. But yeah, I guess it just feels bad, man, when you're like missing out on
when you don't see the 3 smiley faces on your team selection, it just feels like you're doing something wrong.
To be fair, though, I do that with Lucy pretty regularly because I put her in everything.
Wait, you know what feels worse though? It feels worse seeing the full smiley face team get out cleared by the non-smiley face team.
Yeah, that's kind of true. But yeah, like the fact that she has the defense shred and the crit rate buff is good. Like I just don't think it's it doesn't feel as universal, because if her kit had something built in that was like able to directly buff someone or like anyone as opposed to just ether damage bonus, then she'd be unbelievably good. Which is why when I was talking about how good Astra's going to be, I said it still might be optimal to play Nicole, because Nicole is that good, especially with ether.
I think you're just sleeping on Nicole. She's fucking broken.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, Nicole is so good. And if Astra is better than Nicole in all circumstances, then Astra will be busted good. And she could very well be our first must pull.
Well, here's the thing.
Second, Miyabi.
Here's the thing. Now that we need 3, we're gonna eventually get to the Deadly Assault. Now that we need 3 teams, you put Nicole on one, Astra on the other. It's that simple.
Well, like you say 3, you don't even need 3. You just need those 2, and then that's good to get all the polygons at least.
I'm gonna be real. I'd rather crawl into a fire than not see 9 out of 9 stars.
Yeah, but just for those people that, if you just want to get polychromes and like maybe you're new and you can't clear it yet, then just 6 stars is fine.
Yeah, if you're a day one player, you've been playing since the start, and you've been consistently playing. You didn't drop the game and then come back because of free Harumasa and stuff. Yeah, you're probably a gacha guy, and you probably want to see 9 out of 9 stars. Should we move on and start talking about Endgame?
Anything else for Evelyn? Is that it? Just hot really. Bodyguard?
Hot body. I like her more than Astra. I want her to be my manager. Yeah.
I think we were kind of talking about her like potentially having a higher skill ceiling. Yeah, could be cool. Could be cool. And remember, Astra's going to enable quick assists, probably based on the Astral voice set. So it's kind of like you were talking about earlier. Like if she gets if there's something built into her kit where she can do a bunch of damage on quick assists or chain attacks, like with Khalida, then yeah, she'll be super good.
Bro, I don't even think that's a leak. Like, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell the Astral voice set doesn't work on that. There's no way in hell, bro.
Exactly.
There's no way.
So yeah, like Astra's going to enable that probably. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Evelyn has something built in to like do extra damage with those kind of switch-ins. But yeah, should we move on? Deadly Assault, what are we thinking?
I like it. It's fun.
I think it is a crazy good in-game mode. It's literally a copy from the in-game mode from Honkai Impact. I forgot the name of it, but there's a game mode in Honkai Impact that was pretty much the exact same as Deadly Assault.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, these things are cyclical; they go around. But I think Deadly Assault was really cool. It's just like extra rewards, I guess, for players who've been playing for a while. You get all your polychromes on a 6-star, so you don't even need to S rank everything. So I think it's kind of pretty inclusive in that way, right? Because you can A rank across all 3, or you can
2-2-2 or just 3-3.
Yeah, or if you've got like 2 really good teams, then you could do 2 3-3s. Yeah, so it kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility with how you want to clear it. But yeah, it's kind of like Kete said earlier. Like, I think if you've been playing the game for a while, you probably are aiming to try and get 9 out of 9. But if you don't quite make it, I wouldn't feel too bad, to be honest. Like, it is probably the hardest content that we've had to clear. It kind of feels like, well, not the battle.
I would still say tower.
Yeah, not the battle tower.
Okay.
I was going to say it kind of feels like Shiyu defense floor 8, if that makes sense, right? It kind of feels like an extra step after Shiyu defense 7. But yeah, you're right, Shano. Like the battle tower gets way harder because you lose all of the ability to see, the yellow flashes and the red flashes and stuff. And yeah, like the battle tower does get harder for sure. But yeah, I think Deadly Assault is like a good balance of, you can get some rewards. It's pretty tough. It's kind of a bit tougher than Shiyu, but you don't have to S rank it in order to get all of the polychrome. It's pretty good. I like it.
I will say my one like sort of qualm with the Deadly Assault is that obviously it is very much like Shiyu, but it's like so much so that Shiyu that it even has the whole each boss has that buff that is very much shilling, the current agent.
Yeah,
like I said,
that is true. This
one has electric and ice. I would have liked it if that wasn't there, or alternatively, I just like it when there's like, again, I'm coming back to the battle tower because I just had so much fun with it. It would have been nice to see that instead of it, and this comes back to power creep as well, instead of it favoring the brand new agents, rather have it like be more have the buffs be for the enemy, make it difficult for us and stuff like that, as opposed to just saying, oh, you should use Miyabi and Harumasa here.
Yeah,
Because
I see
otherwise, this is going to become like sheer defense, where it's basically pull the 2 new agents and then you'll get all 9 stars easily.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, of course not. No. Yeah.
They want to shield the new agents. That's what they want to
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Catherine?
I'm currently so I had to clear it with 3 teams first and then go back and try like get the max score possible with my lighter team.
Okay. Well, you tried it on all
But
3, like with Lito?
yeah. So
Hmm.
I'm still trying for Bringer. Bringer's stupid with my lighter team. Like I can only get like 53,000 and it's pissing me off. But I was able to get 60K on the other 2. Yeah,
I'll be honest. Once I got 20K and saw the 3 stars, I just stopped. I just stopped paying attention, and I was like, okay, I'm fine.
I got 20K. I think I can't remember which way around it is, but the first 2 were totally fine, like just one attempt, and then the last one for me, I had a Juyuan team with Ambi and Nicole, so like the free to play Juyuan team, and it took me like 4 or 5 attempts at least. To hit the 20K, and then when I got it, I was like, sweet, and then that's it, I was out. But it was fun though, and I also liked the fact that we had to use 3 teams, because it kind of made me feel a little bit like, because in Zenless Zone Zero, like you only really need 2 good teams, if that makes sense, because Shield defense, you can kind of brute force or like flip your teams around a little bit if there's like weaknesses on one side but not on the other. But it kind of made me feel like, oh, okay, like we actually are going to need more agents prepped than I currently really have prepped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it made me feel like it's worth investing more into other characters to like make other characters get better. God, I feel like my brain isn't working right now. And literally, I'm just having a brain blank. But yeah, I kind of liked it because in ZZZ, you normally have 3 character teams as opposed to other gachas where you need 4 character teams. So it's kind of nice to be able to use 3 teams, especially as someone who's played from day one. But I do think that makes Deadly Assault probably like the hardest end game to attempt if you're like new to the game. If you're new to the game, I would probably stay away from it until you've cleared Shield defense. Let's put it that way.
It's the hardest refreshable content in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because Battle Tower is like consistent. But yeah, if you're newer to the game, maybe you've ended up on this podcast by accident and you have just started playing because of free Harumasa and Miyabi, then you can probably 3-star like maybe one of them with your Miyabi, but then the other ones you might struggle with. And I think it's designed that way, right? Like you're meant to finish Shield defense first and then move on to Deadly Assault.
Yeah, a lot of people in my community were saying they feel like they're being severely punished for hyper investing into just 1 or 2 teams because now their second or third team are just complete ass and they cannot beat Deadly Assault.
Yeah. I mean, I cleared the first one with Miyabi, Yanagi, and Lucy, but I've started leveling up Sukaku because I've realized that if I put Sukaku in, then it frees up Lucy to go and like help one of my other teams, and Lucy is flipping awesome. So it's kind of made me realize that I need to like spread out a little bit more and horizontally invest to get my 3 teams like good, as opposed to vertically investing into Miyabi, if that makes sense. Because it's kind of encouraged me to start building in a slightly different way so that I'm ready for that refreshable content moving forwards.
Yeah, I realized I also fucked up and did the same thing. So what I had to do was had to use Soldier 11 and a Ellen team, and then a lighter team.
Oh yeah,
but the Soldier 11 was not gonna clear in time, like with enough points for the 20K at all, if I didn't give her both Caesar and Lucy. So that screwed over my lighter team. So what I did was I said, okay, fuck it. Lighter's just gonna have to carry 2 horrible teammates. So I put lighter on Bringer and said, okay, this is my time for my M6 lighter to fucking shine. I need him to fucking carry these 2 teammates. And my Ellen and Piper and Ben.
Yo, Ben bigger, yo.
But Piper's really good though. I don't know why you're saying that. Like,
oh, you know what I had to do? You know what I had to do? I had to put lighter gets more morale the more energy his teammates use, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since I knew he had to be the carry on that team, I just made sure Ben's shield was as big as possible with as much defense as possible, right? And then I gave Piper 2-piece swing jazz for ER and an ER 6-piece. And I just let her spin as long as possible to fill up his morale bar so I could use his morale more often.
Poor Piper. She's becoming like a heel for your lighter.
Energy bot, yeah.
Energy bot.
Hey, it fucking worked. I got 30K on Bringer.
Mm.
But then after I cleared all three with the lighter team, soldier team, Ellen team, then I went back and redid all three of them with my proper lighter hyper carry, trying to get 60K on them all. And Bringer's being a bitch, but I'm gonna keep trying.
Okay, that's cool, man. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Whale problems. Got it. Okay. Deadly Assault. Very cool. Very cool. But what do we think about the new Hollow Zero exploration stuff? Lost Void.
Fun as fuck.
Yeah.
I like the what's it called, like the skill adjustment stuff.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool. Like the way that the characters level up as well.
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So like if your characters aren't up to scratch, then it kind of like auto makes them up to scratch, which I think is very cool, very awesome. It means that everyone's kind of usable in that game mode, and it also means that you're not tied out of it if you are newer to the game. I think it was the best time to bring that in because we're probably getting a bunch of new players with Miyabi and Free Harumasa and all of that stuff. So yeah, very cool, very cool. I also like the way that the buffs work, that you can like select them based on your character, if that makes sense. So you can get like specific Miyabi buffs or Yanagi buffs, and it feels more fun than the original
Hollow Zero. Yeah.
Where you like either the Blitz mode or the TV mode.
Also, hang on, forget about all the other stuff. Speaking of like comparison between Hollow Zero, you get to run around as Eos, the little bang boo. That's it. What is it to compare?
Yeah,
I spent like the first time I showed up in that one zone, I just spent a minute just doing laps as Eos.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Being able to run around as Eos. Kete, thoughts on Lost Void?
I love it. It's extremely fun.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say. Like y'all pretty much said what I wanted to say.
Yeah. There's not really a downside. It like because of the skill adjustment stuff, it doesn't really feel like an end game thing. It feels like okay, like once you kind of reach a certain point in the story, then you can kind of just play this, and it will just kind of give you. Because I think if you don't have Miyabi, you can use her for certain parts of it. Am I right?
She's a trial character, yeah.
She's a trial character, so you can get to use her. So even if you didn't want to pull her, like you can still use her in that endgame mode. Which I just think it's great. I just think it's great. Decibel Changes. That's the last thing on my list to talk about. What do we think? Decibel Changes.
I like it.
Yeah, characters build up their own ults now as opposed to having like a team shared ult. Just to contextualize. Thoughts?
It has opened up so many new team rotations for so many different characters, and I absolutely love it. The reason why I figured out the hard way that my Soldier 11 team couldn't clear on 20K without Caesar and Lucy was because I was like, what if I just give her Kaleda and Ben? They should be able to do it. It's Fire Week on Pompeii, right? And then after I got done, I was like, oh, never mind. Never mind. But I will say, even though that team couldn't clear 20K, I got to like 16K. It was so much fun. Like, I wish it was better. I wish that team was better because it was actually so much fun using Kaleda's ult with the team ult with Ben to stun.
And it means that then you're not missing out on Soldier's ult as well because you got both of them. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and then going immediately from Kaleda's ult as soon as he's stunned, do Ben's ult because I actually built him for damage on that run. His ult did like 600K, and then fucking do the rotation with Soldier for her ultimate and attacks. It was actually so much fun with that team, like dodge countering and pairing with Ben. Like I really loved it, but man, I guess my characters just aren't built good enough because I had to use Caesar Lucy to clear with Soldier. There was no other way.
Universal support.
But it was fun. I will say, like, there's so many teams now that are just so much more fun now with the Decibel Changes. Shingi is actually a god now.
Yeah,
She's actually a god. Like she's so broken.
I remember you saying beforehand, like when this decibel change comes in, Chingy's gonna be broken, and because she gets her ult, and her ult does like a ridiculous amount of days.
And it
So
refills her bar as well.
yeah, and it refills
Mhm.
her bar. So yeah, the fact that she gets to use that consistently, and you're not giving up anything on the team, is really cool.
Yeah, it's the fact that you can do her stab combo into ult into another stab combo. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I did
I
play
love it.
around with it a little bit in the beta, but obviously I don't have Chingy. Sad for me, but yeah,
Are
she.
you gonna get her?
Sorry.
Are you gonna get her?
It depends when she reruns. Like if she reruns next to like Caesar, I'll probably prioritize Caesar. But yeah, I think I will. I do plan to get her. I think at some point. At some point.
Mm.
But yeah, it depends on when she reruns. Which
Yeah.
kind of brings us on to like attackers, right? Because I think there was big winners with the well, I think basically everyone wins with the decibel changes.
Yeah, everyone
But
won.
I had to adjust my play style with Juyuan. So the first time that I'd played Juyuan with the decibel changes was when I was trying to clear that third stage of Deadly Assault with her, with Ambi and Nicole. And it kind of just made me have to play her a little bit differently because she doesn't get enough field time to build up enough energy to be able to ult in the stun windows unless you give her field time in between, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
essentially it just meant that I couldn't stay on Ambi for the stun. I had to, like, for the first stun you can pretty much just stay on Ambi, but then for the second stun you have to give Juyuan some field time in order to, actually hit the ult during the stun window for the second one. And yeah, it just made me have to readjust it a little bit. I think as a burst DPS, it just means that you're maybe giving up a little bit of stun so that then you can ult in the stun window because her ult is so like huge. So there was definitely some adjustments that need to be made, but I don't necessarily, and I think I mentioned this at the time, like I feel like burst DPSs are losing out a little bit, but it's not that much of a big deal. You just have to give them a little bit more field time, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I made a video like the first thing I tested when I got creator server access wasn't even Miyabi and Harumasa. The first thing was like, is Shuyan still gonna be okay? Like I made the whole video about it as well. And like it's all right. Like you said, it is a bit more involved. I'll admit it was a bit harder for me to notice because I couldn't really test her on like the current patch since I were at Mindscape 1, which kind of fixes the whole on-field issue. But I do think that you're absolutely right that you do need to have her be on field a bit more to get some decibels of her own. But I think it's a good change where like coming back to again how we were saying why Harumasa feels so nice is because and like why Miyabi felt kind of is that beforehand Shuyen was literally just 99% of the time use your stunner. Once they're stunned, switch into Shuyen, hold down the attack button, throw out your ultimate, throw out a Nicole skill every now and then that's it. But now it's like, oh, I actually have to like manage her bullets so that when I have some, I dump a couple of them every now and then, which is, in my opinion, really nice.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think it makes any character worse. Let's put that out there. But I do think it's slightly more involved. And I think Juyuan was like kind of a brain off character, not gonna lie. Just like stay on your stunner, then bring her on. Like dump all your damage in the stun window. That's it. But now you kind of have to think about it before stun window and be like, okay, I need to be around like 2200 in order to hit ult for the stun window, and that includes like the chain attack and stuff. So yeah, I would try and like hit that 2000 and then bring her off, and just before Ambi stuns her or whatever. Keze, what do you think?
I'm actually still seeing a lot of people in Shiyu still getting the kill with just one stun window.
Yeah,
for Zhu.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible in Shiyu, particularly. But I think for me, like I said, the first time I'd run it was in the Deadly Assault thing, and I couldn't output enough damage to do it in one.
I mean, also you had Anbi, right? Not Ching-Yi.
Yeah, I
so
also had Anbi and not
yeah.
Ching-Yi, so it's not buffed in the same way. But even then, I think in the current Shiyu cycle, Shiyu 7, I couldn't kill it in one ult, but I didn't need the second ult, if that makes sense. So yeah, like I didn't need to the second ult to do the damage. I just had to like stun it a second time and then just unload a little bit of damage. I didn't need the second ult. So yeah, maybe my Juyuan isn't quite as good as other people's. I mean, I don't have the signature, and I don't have Chingy.
Yeah, if you're talking about Deadly Assault, yeah, there's no fucking way you're gonna kill in one stun window.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I was referring to with like trying to get two ultimates in. Any other thoughts on the decibel changes though, lads?
As good as it is for every character, God damn it, it was a fucking another anomaly buff. I'm sorry, anomaly
really is,
was
yeah.
by far,
Yeah.
far was
You
the
build up
biggest buff.
so quickly with anomaly.
Yeah, sorry, we did get a bit distracted by talking about the attack agents there, but yeah, like anomaly agents are goated now.
Yeah, like it was a straight up like massive. It was a buff for everybody, but it was a massive buff for anomaly. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, because now you don't have to choose between like just imagine the rotation would be like quite difficult, not difficult, but like it would be more to manage with Miyabi and Yanagi, because you'd be like, oh well, whose ult do I want to use? Well, actually, no, it wouldn't. You just use Miyabi's all the time. But with Yanagi's now, it's easier to get the disorder stacks back up because of her being there. Plus, if you're running like Jane and Bernice, or if you're running like,
Jane, Bernice, I was gonna say as well. Both of them refill their bars. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, or if you're running like Bernice Yanagi, because like Miyabi's so good with anyway, it doesn't really matter who you run her with. Yeah, like those kind of disorder teams. Oh, yeah. Like you can just ult on all of them all of the time, and it feels so good. I also feel like they come back really frequently as well, because you are giving quite a bit of free like field time to like Yanagi, Jane, Bernice. Well, maybe
with anomaly, yes. But yeah. Well, I mean, think of it like this: anomaly, you can build up 3 anomaly gauges at once, and once they trigger, they all give disorder and the anomaly decibels. With stun, you only build up 1 stun gauge at a time. Yes, there's the chain attacks, but I mean, that's like only once you stun them. Whereas anomalies, you can constantly be building up 3 different gauges all at the same time, like every single time.
So real. But yeah, anomalies definitely benefited from the decibel change. Supports as well. I mean, obviously we talked about Chingy as a stunner, being able to use her ult. It was quite nice actually, Ambi being able to use her ult, I will say. But then also like Lucy getting to use her ult finally.
Oh, dude, my Lucy hits for over 1 million on her ult. It's crazy.
It's so cool. And then you get like the raining pigs. Oh, very cool. Very cool. And plus, Lucy's ult gives like energy regeneration. So if you're running her with like Jane and Bernice, for example,
all supports actually, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just very cool. Very cool. It makes it very fun to play. And I think, to be honest, I'm in a stage at the moment where I kind of just like, I get the ult, I do the ult, but I think there is probably like better rotations that I'm not yet using. And I'm kind of excited to keep playing the game and kind of figure that stuff out as stuff gets harder and maybe we need it. But yeah, it's very good. Enjoy it very much. Nice to see all the animations as well.
I'm still trying to get into that mindset of, oh, I have my alt letter up. I'm still in like the JRPG mindset of, I need to save this. There's got to be a better time to use this.
I think with like the only time I think I need to save this is with Juyuan's ult, and it's like, okay, that's for the stun window.
Yeah, that's
for
valid.
The stun window. But pretty much everyone else, I'm like, as soon as it's up, it's like, okay, well, as soon as I use it, they're going to start gaining the decibels back. So I need to use it right now.
Yeah.
Except for maybe, like there's a little bit of management with Jane and Bernice, because you don't really want to use it with Jane until she's already, done her like spinny thing.
Yeah.
You don't really want to use it with Bernice because you get like a bunch of her fire energy back, don't you? Like it's like 50%.
50%, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of want to use a little bit of it and then use it at an optimal time. But it's yeah, as soon as it's up, I'm like, okay, I need to do that thing so that then I can use the ult. But yeah, very cool. I like the ult change very much. Like I said, burst DPS, you maybe need to manage it a little bit more. If anyone is still playing someone like Anton, then it's probably getting a little bit harder because you probably have to give him more field time. Like, it's not really that much of a DPS loss to give Juyuan a bit more field time, though. Really, you just lose out a little bit on the stun window, the stun build up. But yeah, cool.
You bringing up Anton.
Yeah,
makes me really want to like say really quick. I don't know if I said it in a previous podcast or just randomly talking to you before, gamer, but I think it's kind of crazy how in ZZZ if you are really skilled at the game and know what you're doing, have like the optimal builds, optimal rotations, like the sweaty rotations, you can just perform so much better. Like it's crazy, bro. Like Yoji, like I brought up earlier, Yoji,
The
his channel.
Harumasa guy, yeah.
He also did Anton before Haru. And his Anton is clearing faster than 95% of people's like Zhu Yuan's, Ellen's, Jane's, right? Like his Anton is on free to play gear with Shingi Nicole, and he's clearing faster than most people's limited DPS. It's all because this man does crazy rotations and just is optimized the shit out of like the Shiyu floors that he's fighting. And it's just when you watch his gameplay, you're like, is he playing the same game? What the fuck is this? I didn't know ZZZ could do this, bro. Like, is he playing the same game? And it's just crazy how much better you perform in ZZZ from skill, just pure raw skill. It's crazy. But yeah, like your character can be quote unquote bad, but if you have the skill and the right builds, you can perform at an extremely high level.
Yeah, no argument here. And I think that's something that's really good for the future health of the game.
Yeah, like I think on average I was seeing people a couple of Shiyus ago were getting like 50 something second clears, like maybe like 45 second clears with their Jane team a few Shiyus ago. And this man Yoji on the same Shiyu with a free to play weapon on Anton did 38 seconds. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck?
Anton is a secret 8th Void Hunter.
He is he's a bro. He's a bro.
Yeah. Dude, I was so sad okay, come back around to like 1.4 and the story, which we haven't touched on a lot, but like,
yeah,
the whole spoilers, I guess. The whole Avengers moment where everyone showed up and like Bellabog had their whole, they're coming in, and like Grace and Collider, they had their whole lines of like, hey, sorry we're late. And Anton just busts like down a container, doesn't even get a line. He just shows up. He's like, I'm here too, by the way. Doesn't say anything.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, maybe that's the last thing we can talk about is like the 1.4 story before we wrap up. I was about to wrap up, but that's actually a good point. But before we talk about the story, there was such a cool moment. No spoilers, but there was such a cool moment with Lycan.
I mean, we can probably spoil it because I mean, you alluded to something like with Astra after the thing anyway.
Well, it's too late now. Well, whatever. But I guess what I was going to say is that there was such a cool moment with Lycan, and then his voice actor wasn't there to do it. Apparently, there was scheduling conflicts, and it was
yes for English voices, yeah.
And it just felt really like such a good moment. It wasn't ruined; like it still felt like a really good hype moment. But yeah, I really missed the VA at that moment. You know, I was like, man, it would have been so good if he was there.
It's such a cool scene that if you don't have voices, it feels so off.
Maybe I'll switch to Japanese voices for the next patch. I don't know. If this kind of thing continues, it kind of really bugged me.
Especially for like Lycan, like out of all of the scenes, like if you missed out on like say Collider's voice actor, maybe he's like some of the cunning hairs, but just that Lycan scene alone.
Yeah, no, I do agree though. Yeah, it seemed like he had like one of the hypest moments, and then just no voice.
He is, if I could equate again, spoilers. If like we said, this is the Avengers Assemble moment. He is Doctor Strange saying Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Bit of a shame.
Well, all I'll say is I did the story on stream, and okay, we need to wrap up because if we start talking about the story, it's just gonna be 10 minutes of me being completely down bad for Sarah. I need her to be playable. Holy shit. We might need to wrap up.
She's not gonna be.
We not need to, because I'm more down than oh my god.
Bro.
Bro, I need her to be playable. Please, Hoyo, don't do this to me.
Yeah, but just like spoiler free, the story was great. It was really good. There was some very hype moments. Miyabi very cool. And everyone felt like they got their time in the spotlight a little bit.
Well, no, not everyone.
Not quite everyone, but Lycan definitely did.
Yeah. there was, I mean, again, spoilers. I don't really care. Dude, Soldier 11, just everyone shows up. She's just off doing her own thing somewhere else, I guess.
Oh yeah, she wasn't there.
Yeah, you thought I was talking about Anton. No, Soldier 11 did not appear once at all.
Because there was no O-Ball squad. There's no squad, right?
Yeah.
Where's the squad at? All right, let's wrap it up, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. This has been Losing the 50. I've been Average Luck Gamer. You should check out all of Shanahar's and Kete's stuff. Do you want to do a quick self-plug, guys?
Sure.
Yeah, go.
Kete, you first?
No, go for it.
I'm Shanahan. I do news. I do guides. I do news every single week. So subscribe, and every Monday you'll know about what's happening in Zenless Zone Zero, both inside and outside the game.
Sick. Kete.
Yeah, I stream a lot. Obviously, I make Zenless videos. Y'all should join this week. It'll either be on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. We're gonna do a live event. Gonna have commentary when my commentator is gonna be another content creator called Flossin' on You. Be there. It's gonna be a huge live event. Promise it's gonna look amazing. And it'll also be a 2-part video as well from the stream. So can't wait.
That's fine, man. And I've been Average Luck Gamer. You should check out my stuff. I have a YouTube channel and a Twitch. I'll also be live on Boxing Day. That's the 26th. I think I'm going to be doing M0 versus M6 Miyabi.
Are you going to pull for her? All 6?
No,
Oh
I'm
my
using a
goodness.
viewer's account. I'm using a viewer's
Ah.
I'm not.
After the talk about, I'm not going to go for M, I'm just going to stick with M1. All of a sudden, oh, by the way, I'm actually going to do a comparison.
Yeah, I just think that she's so good at M0 that like I don't even know how good M6 could be. But yeah, I'm gonna find out, and it'll probably get turned into a YouTube video.
I
eventually.
got to try M6 on a viewer's account the other day on stream. It was
And
fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I might clear.
By fun.
Yeah.
Go
By fun,
ahead.
you mean brain off?
Well, yeah, by fun, what I really mean is I got the stacks. I used her enhanced basic attack, and everything died.
Yep.
Is that even in Deadly Assault?
It was in Shiyu
G7.
and Tower.
Shiyu and Tower. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. I'm kind of excited to check it out. Only for funsies. No whale content. You know, just chilling. Not trying to encourage people to get M6 Miyabi. It's completely unnecessary, just for fun. Okay. Thanks very much for joining, guys. Say goodbye, everyone. Bye. See you later, bye.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Happy holidays.
Peace
everyone.
out. Yeah.